Finally. In this video, I'm looking at the final UX3000 wireless active noise cancelling headphones. Let's get it. What's cracking, audio fans? It's David here from Prime Audio Reviews. So here we've got today the final UX3000. Now this is Final's first wireless full-size headphone. Recently I reviewed their ZE3000 TWS earphones, but yeah, let's have a look at these. So the price is $149. We're talking Bluetooth version 5.0. In terms of codec support, you get AAC, SBC, aptX, including aptX low latency. So there is no aptX HD, but you do get low latency, which is good for gaming. They're foldable. You can fold them up like that. Great for transporting or storage. Furthermore, the ear cups rotate 90 degrees like that. In terms of the build quality, when you first get your hands on them, they feel a little bit cheap just because they're so light and this plastic is kind of thin. Actually, that reminds me, see the finish on these ear cups and the frame, that is the same Shibo finish, exactly the same Shibo finish that we find on the ZE3000 earphones, so that's pretty cool. At first I thought, yeah, they feel a bit cheap, but on closer inspection, when you look at them and feel them, they're actually built really well. There's no squeaks or creaks when you're wearing them or handling them. You get a nice bit of padding on the underside of the headband. And overall, in terms of comfort, they're pretty good. Not too bad, but I do get a little bit hot spots after about an hour or so, especially if I'm wearing glasses, because the clamp force is a little bit, it's not what I would call tight, but it's present. So especially with, depending on what kind of glasses frames you've got, it might be a bit uncomfortable, but they're pretty good in general. I'm going to switch things up a bit today and we're going to go straight to the sound. So considering Final's headphone pedigree, I had high expectations coming into this review. Not only were my expectations met, but they were surpassed. The UX3000 is all about neutrality and fidelity, much like their ZE3000 earphones. One thing that stands out is the evenness across the frequency spectrum, and by that I don't mean a really flat linear frequency response, but I mean one that doesn't have any distracting or particularly noticeable peaks or dips. So it's a very smooth listen, smooth but crisp and detailed at the same time. But by doing that, the sound is dynamic and lively, but it's consistent in presentation and it won't give you any nasty surprises. The bass is punchy but clean, delivered with natural size and weight. It's lightly boosted for engagement, but remains nimble with precise attacks and a fast decay. Sub-bass notes have a satisfying rumble. It doesn't give you bone-shaking growls, but there is enough gusto to bring satisfaction with every bass drop or 808 kick. Vocals are articulate with just the right note weight, neither thin nor saturated, merely natural. Instruments sound great too, from the deep, rich notes of a cello to the bite of an electric guitar. The UX3000 does them all. There's no shoutiness in the upper mids, thanks to the evenness that I just mentioned. If I were to nitpick, I wouldn't mind just a touch more vibrance from the upper mids to add some zing, but apart from that, no complaints. One area where Bluetooth headphones often struggle is in the treble. For some reason, it's the treble that seems to be the most vulnerable to compression and artificial timbre. Not so with the UX3000. True, the treble does have a laid-back presentation. It is tuned for musicality more than precision, but it's mercifully smooth and it doesn't produce any jarring sharpness nor sibilance. It creates a fairly wide stage with good spacing and ample room for instruments and vocals to breathe. It has an adequate instrument separation and a firm center image. That gives it good stereo imaging and makes it easy to pinpoint the position of each sound with confidence. Let's talk about the other stuff now. We'll start with the active noise cancelling, and the active noise cancelling works pretty good. It's not a class leading ANC like you get from Bose or Sony, but it's definitely on par with anything else around this price range that you'll find. It's particularly good for muting low frequency droning sounds like fans, air conditioners, engine noises, and things like that. Battery life, you can expect around 25 hours with the active noise cancelling on and 35 hours with the ANC off, which is pretty good. And by the way, you can listen to these wired via the auxiliary port there, and even when the headphones are powered off, you can still activate the ANC, so that's pretty sweet. In terms of microphone quality, the mic sounds great on these headphones. Sounds really nice. Voices come through loud and clear. The headphones do a pretty good job of blocking out external noise as well, so they're really good for calls. And I think that just about sums it up. Oh yeah, one thing I forgot to mention. Actually, there is one serious flaw with the design of these headphones. If you power on the headphones and then turn on the ANC, and then turn the headphones off again, the ANC is still turned on. So last night I went to bed, I turned off the headphones, I powered off the headphones, and I went to sleep. And when I woke up this morning, I noticed the little green LED was on, and that's because the ANC had been turned on all night, even though the headphones were powered off. So I wish that they had designed it so when you turn the headphones off, the ANC goes off with it. But apart from that, really solid headphone all around. We'll do one quick comparison before we wrap up. And the only reason I don't really have any other Bluetooth headphones in this price range, around the $150 mark, but the only reason I wanted to do this one is because look, they look almost the same. This is the Edifier W820NB, and it costs roughly a third of the price of the finals. It's about $56. So you can see they've obviously got their inspiration from the same place or from one another. But yeah, very similar in terms of shape. These ones are not foldable, but everything else is very, very similar indeed. As far as the sound quality goes, the Edifier here comes pretty close. Obviously, it has to make some concessions, being a third of the price. Most notably, it only has SBC codec. It doesn't have any aptX. It does have active noise cancelling, and I would say that the ANC on the Edifier is on par with the final. They both about as effective as each other, so it really goes to show the good value of the Edifier here. But in terms of sound, it is not too far away from the final. The most notable differences are in the bass and the treble. The bass is just a little bit thicker on the Edifier. It's a little bit rounder, notes are a little bit rounder, and the decay is slightly slower. So it's a bit thicker, slightly slower, less well-defined bass. And in the treble just has a slightly more edginess to it. And the timbre of the treble is not quite as good as the final, but apart from that, it does a really good job. So if you're on a tighter budget, definitely consider those. But if you are shopping for something a little bit above those entry-level ones, this is one of the best sounding Bluetooth headphones that I've heard. Really good sound. I'm very impressed with it. Nice, mature, refined, balanced sound. Functionality is really good, except for that ANC thing issue. But apart from that, really solid buy. For the company's or the brand's first foray into Bluetooth headphones, I think they've done a smashing job. So I recommend them wholeheartedly. So if any of you watching have heard or tried the Edifier here, write a comment down below and let me know what you think. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up there. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, PAFAM audiophile style. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future videos. And until next time, see you later.